Welcome everyone back to the channel. I just want to give an update on the basement and the progress that is undertaken. And without further ado, what we have here, I still have 15 Moroccan lanterns lining the space. I added these posters, but they're actually made of wood, and I put them on command strips in case we ever need to switch them out for a different aesthetic. As you can see, coming down, got the typical pictures that you would see in the wizarding world. Come over here, Hedwig the owl, flanked by two of the Moroccan lanterns. And we're going to come on down into the space. I have a couple wall sconces. Now, as you enter the basement space, this is more the Diagon Alley space. I do have the Diagon Alley sign ordered. It's being made so I can place it right up here on the wall, somewhere around there. And also a warning sign I'm going to have put around there. Anyway, what I chose to do with this space is I went with a global decor. It's because, me and my wife, we go cruising, we travel to different locations, and as you can see, it's a collection of different types from all over. And as I'm progressing through, it's my Mayan calendar, as you see right there. And then up top, I've got a boar hunting spear that I added. And then, of course, the Mayan mask. It's from Merida, Mexico, right there. And then I got 3 masks from Guam. This particular mask here, I purchased in the French Quarter of all places. It's a replica of a voodoo mask. And basically when you shake it, it rattles to give off a kind of a eerie thing. Above it, I added a couple of these bow and arrow decor pieces. And let me flank over here. Of course, a medieval dagger. This actual picture here is Indonesia. It's kind of a different piece. It's supposed to be the all-seeing eye. Of course, there's 4 of them looking at you, flanked by another dagger. Any wizarding space wouldn't be proper unless you had an actual robe. Let me flank on in here. This one here is my Gryffindor Common Room. You walk in here and you can see the space. So, immediately, as I walk through here, I decided to add these battery-powered candles that give the flickering effect. The main reason is because if you ever lose power, your little wizarding place isn't affected. Of course, I added 2 more Moroccan-style lanterns. I think they're 12.8 inches each. And then I went with a 6-inch going from here over on both of these. Now, if you look up ahead, I did add, that's something new, I added the Gryffindor Common Room sign. I tried to give every area a theme to kind of blend in all of the kind of unusual artifacts that you see. This particular gator head is actually real. I picked it up in the bayou of Louisiana. And then, of course, I added a couple little extra pieces, a little skull powder. And then, of course, flanking it over here, I picked up this particular piece. I believe it was in Costa Maya, Mexico. And then as we flank over here, this particular area here gets a lot of different things throughout the year. It's got enough room here at the bottom to go up that during Christmas time I'll fit a Christmas tree theme. And then I'll probably put Harry Potter or some type of wizarding ornaments and stuff to decorate during that particular time. And if you notice, it's a heavy carved table from Indonesia. And then, of course, I added more candles. Now, flanking over here, you're starting to get into where I added these lights. These are LED lights that I added. There's 10 of them total in this whole basement as I scan around. It provides wall washing. You can get them on Amazon. It's fairly decent pricing. And it took me a little while to figure out, how, one, I had all these cords, because when you span around here, there's a lot of cords. And I hid every single one of them that I could. And then let's talk about this piece. This is actually 4 medieval daggers. And you can source these daggers in a lot of places. I particularly bought these on Amazon. They've got some nice ones. You just have to look at the reviews. And then, of course, when we talk about this basement, it's more than just global. I've got antiques and vintage. These particular musketeers that are sword, they're actually 36 inches from the bottom all the way up. They're 36 inches tall. They're from the 1960s. And let me hand up on one of them so you can get a really good look at these. I thought it was a playful touch. This particular tree, a lot of people want to call it the Whomping Willow, but it's actually a copper tree decorated. And of course, another one, musketeer. Now, this piece here, I added, of course, it's an LED floodlight, which they're all multicolored. I chose to do the green just because I thought it looked kind of eerie when you uplight this. This here is a 6 foot by 6 foot large mandala from Southeast Asia. It's typically found in the Indonesian regions. It's very heavy carved and extremely heavy. I had to use a lot of bolts going straight into the studs just to hold this piece up. We flank down here. I've added some touches of the Edgar Allan Poe with the red rose. And then, of course, the crow and skull on the book. And I started adding, that's like an orb. And I do have 2 oil diffusers. I have 14 different scents down here for different moods, you might say. Everything from sweet tobacco smell to the leather, teak wood, sandalwood, and so on. And if I scroll over here, you can see all the 10 candlesticks I have that's uplighting this mandala. And of course, that guy right there, you'll see him here in a second, is a plague doctor. And the furniture, everybody wants to know, well, this is a modern basement in a modern home. I didn't want to live in a actual real castle. One, who has millions of dollars? And 2, they're typically uncomfortable and you can't temperature control them as well as a modern basement. So I added comfy couches, as you can see through here. And then, of course, Gryffindor blanket to go into the Gryffindor Common Room. And let me walk through here a little bit more. The key to the uplighting is you need to hide them. So I put one back behind this mirror so it kind of gives a eerie glow. And of course I use green, but you can use any color. And then I just added this from my other previous videos. I moved this round area rug. I think it just ties well into this dark arts Borgin and Burkes thing. And of course, I do have the Borgin and Burkes sign ordered, and it's on its way. And then let me come across here and let you all look at this. I picked him up, believe it or not, this year. I picked him up at Home Depot. They only had like 5 of them left. And I thought he played a decent eerie look. And of course, right next to him, I chose red color. And I have this particular floodlight hidden. Let me see if it'll even pick up behind this plant. So it kind of washes the wall with the red, as you can see. And then, of course, this is a electric fireplace, which we'll be definitely using here in probably another month or two. And believe it or not, this particular fireplace is an insert that you can easily just pull it out and replace it if needed. It completely knocks down any kind of chill in this entire basement. This whole entire basement is actually 1,735 square feet just for the basement. I'm only showing you all the main area. There's still an additional 2 bedrooms and full bath down here that my daughter uses. This right here is, I got a little thinking man, and I went ahead and added, over a period of time, I've kind of played with these lights a lot and figured out I need 4 of the taller ones and then 3 of the tea lights to really give it that kind of that glow. This particular image is from a 1940s world map. And then you scroll down, it's another Edgar Allan Poe poem. And of course, you have to have the red rose for that. And then some flowers with some candles. And I picked this guy up at the Home Depot. No, I picked him up at Lowe's this year. That's where I got him. He's actually a motion sensor, and he laughs and carries on, but I usually keep him turned off just because. And then right behind him, another little tea light to kind of uplight the area. Up top, we got the thin man, little warrior, holding his little shield and spear. Of course, I chose to do the same amount of lighting because I felt it was important to have, you know, as you're walking through, have the equal lighting on both sides. This particular item here is kind of introduced, floor model. It's got the fleur-de-lis coming from the French Quarter. It holds 5 of the battery-powered candles. And then this entire fireplace area, I've got it flanked by another tall tropical plant. And then I have another LED floodlight hidden behind there. So when you step back, it kind of washes the wall with whatever color you choose. I particularly chose to use red. Right next to it, these particular items, see, that's the thing. When you go and source your items, you don't have to necessarily order. It doesn't have to be truly expensive. I sourced this mirror. I found it on Marketplace. Wasn't very expensive at all. I think it was less than $100 just for the mirror. Then I went and sourced the candlesticks and then added, you know, what you see here. This particular base is actually came from Amazon. And then I think it's important to know that not everything has to be super pricey. And when you're dealing with the Harry Potter theme, not everything has to be strictly bought from the Harry Potter franchise to make it a Harry Potter world. If you think back, J.K. Rowling drew inspiration from various sources. So what I did was I added just a few little hints of the Harry Potter world. And then your own imagination draws what you see. So, continuing on, so a lot of people want to know, well, where do you get all this eclectic, all these candlesticks and all that? These particular candlesticks actually came from Goodwill. So Goodwill is actually, believe it or not, depending on where you're located, could be a valuable source of sourcing some of your eclectic Harry Potter items. This particular sword here is the Gryffindor sword. I actually had it made off of Etsy and shipped. Then, of course, I purchased this, the Solemn Swear sign. I got that, I think, from either Hobby Lobby or one of the big box stores. And let me pan back out. So, of course, the two double bookshelves were purchased from Amazon. I found this is actually more of a antique looking globe floor model that I purchased off of a lady on Facebook Marketplace, including the two floral chairs. I went round and round with these chairs because I was thinking, well, I need to get, either a dark green leather or, something of that nature. But let me tell you, these chairs are super comfortable for what they are. I added the footstools to kind of match the green in the actual floral chairs. The chairs themselves are an older style chair. They actually came from an older lady, believe it or not, that passed away, and their family was selling them off. So I picked them up really cheap, and it gives the kind of the older eclectic vibe that I was looking for. And then when you're looking at this, so I picked, this crow up from, picked the crow up from Facebook, or scratch it, Amazon, and including the tea light. And then I added a lot of these little crows. You can get them in, I think I got these in a 6-pack. And I chose to put these up here kind of directional. So no matter where you're sitting at in here, you always have a set of eyes looking at you. And then here is a Chippendale Curio. And of course, let me get you a little closer. You can notice that, yes, there's an eclectic source from different countries that I visited. That is actually a cruise ship actual model me and my wife went on when we took our last cruise. That one came from China. And then you scroll up, you got to have the Holy Grail from the Indiana Jones franchise. And another cup from Mexico. It's hand carved. And just different eclectic things. This particular item right here is a cross that actually slides open. It's kind of neat. Slides open to a vial of holy water. And then, of course, another Indiana Jones franchise with a couple of Buddha goddess. And let me scroll down. If you look in here, I felt it was important to kind of have an eclectic style where no matter where you're looking, you're not going to get bored down here. And then, of course, the Edgar Allan Poe. And moving along. So, the one thing I did change, I used to have the circle rug here. So, since then, I'm going to order another 10 by 12, which that'll be in another video. I'm going to add another 10 by 12 area rug to go along with various other rugs that I have in here. And then here's Everybody Likes a Night. So I did add the LED floodlight to kind of uplight it. Before, in the other videos, I had the uplights here kind of hiding behind both of the chairs to kind of light up the bookcases. But what I found was it was too much color washing on this area. So everything kind of blended in with the colors. So what I chose to do after playing with these is if you put the lights and the color, if you notice, it doesn't wash out the bookshelves, and you can actually see the different types of decor that I added and the actual books. I did add a lot of these battery powered candles. One is because if we ever lose power, I can still come down here and it's business as usual, minus my floodlights. But I think it gives an actual ambience of, a lot of things that I got going on down here. And I do have a lot of books, a lot of different types of books. It plays a big factor for us during, the winter months. It's because we don't like to be outside freezing. So we stay in a little bit more and we do a lot more indoor things. Moving along. This is the, I guess, quote, Great Hall Hogwarts feel. If you notice, it does have a 10 by 12 area rug. I did add some Ashley furniture in here, some heavy dark wood. I do have, and yes, it kind of breaks the aesthetic a little bit, but this is a gaming area as well as a dining area. So when we do our murder mysteries or different types of games that we play here, you got to have the fridge and the bar cart. From the previous videos that you've seen, I had a lot of empty potion bottles, both here and up on top. They have been moved upstairs because tomorrow I've got my older kids and wife. They're going to be doing some potion making, and we're going to do some pumpkin carving. So in the next video, I'll show the completed potion bottles down here, along with my thoughts and stuff on what we did and why. So this is still going to be a potions bottle. This is my second diffuser, of course, with the 14 different scents. And then I added, the other video showed the apothecary, but then I added a magical potions to kind of tie in and give this area a name, and then every place that you have to have a garbage can. So yes, it doesn't look Harry Potter, so I stuck it in the back. It's a metal one. It's got fleur-de-lis on it, but you have. Now moving around. Now I did add the Harry Potter banners. There's 5 of them. You got Hufflepuff, Gryffindor. This is a regular Hogwarts banner, a Slytherin, and then Ravenclaw. What you see here is a sideboard, and yes, I have them filled up with different types of games. So, nobody can be bored. Just different types of games and whatnot. All the areas. Of course, more games, board games, murder mystery games, immersive games. Dungeons and Dragons is coming soon. And then moving on, I picked up these. You know, when me and my wife went to the French Quarter, I really fell in love with the wrought iron look. So I picked up some of these. And then on top of this is actually a antique looking radio that does have a Bluetooth. So I can play different music. I got the Amazon Echoes, and those will be coming here soon. I've been kind of playing with them upstairs and controlling the different things. So this channel is really going to progress in the actual technical side as well, because I've got to get our blasters to operate all the candles and such. So I will have plenty of more content and show you all how this area is progressing as, you know, the channel progresses. So like, subscribe, and if you're interested, leave comments, and I reply to all of them. I'd like to thank you all, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.